Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Now, as we fast approach the start of a new decade, I thought it would be fun to take a look back at some of the good and bad hardware releases over the last 10 years. Today we're talking about graphics cards and what I feel is the worst graphics card that has released in this past decade. Now, some of you may not agree with this opinion. I have a feeling a lot of you may. What am I talking about? Well, the award for the worst graphics card of the last 10 years has to go to the GT 1030. Now, I know what you're thinking, GT 1030, what a fantastic sub $100 card. Yes, it absolutely is, but I'm not talking about the regular GT 1030. I'm talking about the DDR4 GT 1030, an absolute abomination of a product that, well, was very, very disappointing. So the DDR5 or GDDR5 GT 1030, as I said before, was a very good product. At under $100, I think roughly about $70, £70 or 70 euros, you were getting a card that was fantastic value for money. It could play games with reasonable settings, and because most of the time it was a low profile GPU, it could fit in pre-built Dell small form factor systems and turn an ordinary office machine into something capable of running games. The DDR4 GT 1030, however, which released at about £10, dollars or euros cheaper than the GDDR5 variant, was, in a word, shocking. I mean, this was a card that shouldn't have been called the GT 1030 in the first place, and the DDR4 RAM severely limited its performance. Now, I'm not just talking about a minor performance decrease here. I'm talking about 50 to 60% less performance in certain titles with this GPU. This 1030 totally missed the mark. It was terrible in every single way. After I reviewed the card, I went to my usual go-to review sites, Gamers Nexus, TechSpot, and they could only agree. Now, I don't want to reel off any quotes, I don't want to misquote anyone here, but to summarise, both of those sites were pretty disappointed with the card. Now, the other problem with having two products with the same name that aren't in any way similar performance-wise is that to the average Joe, someone who may just be looking for a cheap GPU to upgrade their PC with, they aren't going to immediately be able to tell the difference. Say you've got a DDR4 1030 on the left in a shop, and you've got a GDDR5 1030 on the right. Whilst these cards may be different in design, the little product numbers, one that ends in D4 and one that ends in D5, indicating the different VRAM types, aren't going to be very helpful to someone who isn't too knowledgeable when it comes to PC hardware. They're just going to see 1030 and think that they're going to get similar performance with both cards. It's misleading in a way, and there should have been some clearer clarification, if you ask me. And the way that could have been done best, well, is with a different name. GT 1020 or GT 1010. That would have been far better. Even today, the DDR4 version of the 1030 will pale in comparison to the GDDR5 version, but why would anything change? This is a hardware issue, not one that can be resolved with drivers. Now, I'm not saying that the 1030 DDR4 is the worst performing card of the last 10 years. I just think it's one of the worst to be released because, in a way, it seems totally pointless, and it's like it was just thrown into the market to mislead and confuse consumers into buying it. You know, it has no purpose, in my humble opinion, and even today, it's worth saying that you should avoid. You know, the 1030 isn't the only card to have differing specs. The 730, for example, came in a GDDR3 and GDDR5 variant. The 1060 came in a 6GB and 3GB variant. But I just feel like the 1030 saw the biggest gap in performance between the two cards, and for that reason, it's one of the worst cards, I think, of the last 10 years. But let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like on it, leave a dislike if you didn't, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next one.